Philadelphia, are you ready?
They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling. And on today's show, from Ring of Honor Wrestling, we have the Mecca, Brian Johnson, joining us. Brian, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Pleasure's all yours.
I can't really disagree with that.
Was it? We'll have to decide that after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we mentioned Ring of Honor. That's who you primarily wrestle for. That's who the only company you wrestle for right now, correct?
Correct.
Now, what made you decide on Ring of Honor? What was the focus point? What was the thing that drew you in?
So I can tell by the looks of your studio there, you guys are wrestling fans growing up your whole life. There's Sean in the background, it looks like, and some other things, right? So growing up, I was a WWE, WWF guy like everybody else, right? That's all I ever wanted to do and whatnot. But as you grow in this business, and I've been in it for 14 years, I think you learn to appreciate different things the same way that maybe I like a different type of music than you may like, right? And I enjoyed the beat of the drums from Ring of Honor. To me, today, our roster will stand up against any roster in the world, period, when it comes to bell to bell. Now, do we have pyrotechnics that are out to wazoo? No. Are we in MetLife Stadium? Not yet. We did Madison Square Garden. So, like, to me, the sport of professional wrestling and the ability that this place has bell to bell, whether it pisses me off or not, is top notch. So to me, there's no other place to be than with the best wrestlers, because that's the name on the marquee, is pro wrestling.
I agree with that. And when I look at Ring of Honor, like right now, currently, you have your eyes locked in on the TV title.
100%.
That looks like that's your next immediate goal, is the TV title. And what I notice about Ring of Honor as opposed to other companies, when you look at title pictures, it seems to always be the same people in the title pictures, no matter what the title is. And I'm talking about almost every company. When you look at Ring of Honor, they have something a little different. Every person on the roster, any title is attainable to any person. It's not like, oh, well, this guy or this girl, they're at the top. They're always going to be at the top. It looks like there's so much going on, and I really love the refocusing on pure wrestling and getting back to the basics of what wrestling is. But it looks like everybody can go for any title, and it wouldn't be like, oh, a predictable match.
Well, I think that's something you're seeing in sports across the landscape. Growing up, I was a sports fan. The Western Conference would dominate the Eastern Conference, and they were the tougher conference all the time. But there's 6 or 7 good teams in the East now for the Sixers to have to smack around when April rolls around. And then same thing even in the NFC and the AFC this year. Like, the Packers are going to be a hard out, and they're tough. You know what I mean? Like, there's more parity, I think, in sports than there's ever been. And I think it comes from all of these sports have skyrocketed over the years because of fans, right? So you grow up a fan, you want to be the best at that sport, and you just stay to it and you love to it. And there's so many people that are loving football that there's so many people that are trying to become football players, and people that love, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I think the talent comes from an early age of people falling in love with whatever their sport is. And we're seeing parity across the board in a good way, not in a way of like everybody's equal, in a way that like everyone's busting their ass. And pro wrestling's no different. That's why guys are, you know, making a living on the independents, making a living at Ring of Honor, at Impact, at WWE. It's an amazing time. And to have Ring of Honor have a roster, like you said, with such depth and parity is a good thing. Anyone's got a shot anywhere. And as you said, I'm looking at the TV title. But you damn right, if the pure title or the world title or the tag team titles or whatever opened its focus, I'd go for that too. And that's a good thing about Ring of Honor. I don't think we necessarily pigeonhole guys. Not saying that other companies do, but we don't for sure. Guys are free to grow up and down the roster, up and down the card, depending on where they're at and where their focus is at.
And Ring of Honor is still able to mix in different, like a plethora of different personalities. It's not all one.
For sure. Maybe, this is being taped. I don't know when this is going to be shown, but this is being taped on Monday. So we just had a watch along, right? Just coming fresh off of that. And they announced on there for the first time on television that we're going to be having individual brackets. News to freaking me, right? That's how I find out. Thanks, Ring of Honor. But the news was that they're going to have all these brackets, and it's different talent in different title categories, right? And there's listings and rankings, and this jackass Josh Woods is in first for something, and Flip Gordon's in third, even though he doesn't do shit right. And then no one's ranking me in any of them, but there are rankings. And I think that that's an interesting approach, that we were looking at pro wrestling for the sport of it. It's now, yes, all these guys are parody, and they might be able to jump from here to there, but they got to supplement and watch television, and you'll see how that all explains itself. But I think it's a good thing that Ring of Honor is doing. We're not only filled with parity so much that we're building classes so that guys are entering and coming out, much more of a sport that people can follow.
Well, and I'm glad you said that with the rankings and people coming in and out. Mm-hmm. A couple athletes that we've seen on the indies multiple times and have big names on the indies, and you're already rolling your eyes because you know who I'm going to say. And one of them at Final Battle beat you, and that's Danhausen, who is a household name as far as the independent scene goes for a lot of wrestling fans. I mean, obviously I could see how you're going to feel about him, but I mean, what do you think of talents like that coming to
Okay. So I have a few questions for you. You said household names, correct? I would assume that 90% of Danhausen's fans don't own a house, and they probably are living underneath the bill of their parents or some shitty rent in some one-bedroom lonely-ass apartment. So no, I don't think he's a household name. Is he a familiar name on the independent? Sure, yeah. Is he some jackass to get some more face time than he deserves? Yeah, sure. Secondly, did you watch Final Battle?
Yes, we did.
Start to finish, right?
Yes.
So you saw the match with me and Danhausen, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And I pinned him 1, 2, 3, and the ref didn't see it. Flat on the mat, clean as day.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because that happens.
Semantics.
Now, at the end of the day, did that jackass get his hand raised? Yeah. And was I happy about it? No, obviously, right? Look at me. What do I think of talents like him? I think that somewhere in my 14-year career, professional wrestling took a turn from being a sport where men bust their ass to a shell of itself. The governor of Philadelphia once said that they were demasculating sports, or whatever that quote is by Governor Rendell. You guys will probably know it if you Google. I can't think of it at the moment, but essentially everyone's soft. And somewhere in the 14 years, I think pro wrestling got soft. Now, that doesn't mean that Danhausen doesn't have any talent inside of his body. No, he obviously has something. He's on a Ring of Honor roster. But the fact that people call him a household name is damn near laughable to me. That, to me, is the problem. The fact that he's a household name is a problem. If he's the guy on the first match making sure the ropes don't break before the show starts, great. Yeah, no problem, kid. $20 in the soda.
All right. I got a question for you then. So
fire away.
So what if busting your ass isn't enough? How do you set yourself apart? How do you get to that next level? How do you get past a Danhausen? How do you get towards a Roosh or Shane Taylor or anyone?
That's a good question. Because while I sit here and talk all this crap, my win-loss record is about as laughable as the households that Danhausen fans live in. I understand. Like I haven't won a lot. I've been getting my shit fed to me. But I think a lot of it has come from mistakes. Again, I'll reference sports. There's rookies that sometimes are in big decisions and they make bad decisions. But as they grow and you watch them become professionals and they become veterans, they earn their spot. Now everyone looks at me, 14 years, you are a veteran, dumbass, right? Well, I haven't been on this stage because I was never given an opportunity the same way that, Danhausen was given it because of a friggin' hashtag. Or because some other jackass deserved it because his friends were on the roster, right? I was never given that. And that drives me. And that drives me every damn day. Because I'm here now as a rookie making some, for sure, cardinal mistakes, tactical errors, literally slipping, coming in the goddamn ring like shit. I'm fumbling for sure. I get it. But I know that they're just dumb little mistakes. And once they go away, no one's going to stop me. So, yeah, it might be tripping over Danhausen at the moment, but I had him beat. We've all agreed to it. The world could see it. So now it's just capitalizing on that. And the moment I catch fire with that, god damn, you guys think I'm hot now? You ain't going to be able to touch me when that happens.
So is there someone that can get you to that point, or is this all you? Or do you feel like you might need an ally in this journey?
It's Mecca versus everybody. And I damn sure mean that. Now, I don't want to overlook what PJ Black did for me. For those that don't follow the product real closely, he decided to mentor me against my wishes. But I wasn't getting booked. So it was be mentored and be in his corner and be in tag matches, or sit my ass on the sideline pissed off like I always was. So I took the opportunity that he gave me. And I would say it got more eyes on me than I could ever imagine. He wrestled in 60-something countries. The guy's he main evented SummerSlam. He main evented freaking SummerSlam, right? He was looking after me. I am grateful as hell for that. But right now he's on the shelf. And since he's been on the shelf, I've been trying to make the most of the opportunities that have been put in front of me. And I realized I wouldn't have had them if PJ wouldn't have drawn eyes to me. So I am not forgetting of PJ. But right now, us two as a team just isn't in focus. It's Mecca versus everybody. That's all.
So now, I mean, you're in Ring of Honor, and we come across a lot of wrestlers, and when we talk to them, because a lot of people seem, at least this is the perception that we've gotten over as long as we've done this show, is do you watch other pro wrestling shows? Do you care to watch? Like, do you see what, just looking at other talent, trying picking things up, or just want to see what, just as a fan in general? I
don't mind admitting this. For some reason, people think it's weird. I love pro wrestling. I think it's the greatest fucking thing on the world. I loved it from the day I can remember, and I'll love it to the day I die. So if wrestling's on the TV, I'm happy. I don't care if it's our product, their product, his product, her product. I don't give a shit. I want to see it, and I want to see it unfold. Do I necessarily like everything I watch? No, but I don't go against anything. You're dumb if you're not watching. Why wouldn't you be able to get better or learn from somebody?
Here's what I've kind of come up with when we've asked people that question. I feel like once you're in the business, it's sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sours the taste of watching wrestling when you know the ins and outs and everything. It kind of, because everything was kayfabe before that. Everything was like, maybe not kayfabe to the fullest of where you believe that Big Show's driving away with Big Boss Man, or Big Boss Man's driving away with Big Show's dead dad. Like, maybe
to my knowledge, his dad was in that casket, and I'll believe that to the day I die.
Maybe he was, but what I'm trying to say is, I feel like when you're in the business, it kind of and it's not everybody, and I can't blanket statement this, but I feel like people that we've talked to are kind of just like, I don't watch it anymore. It's kind of like,
well, that's why those people don't deserve the spots that they have. That's what I think. Oh, you think you're too good to watch it? What do you guys do for? I'm sure full time isn't this. God, I hope not. You probably don't have a household then. What do you do full time?
He's an electrician, and I work at a condo in Center City.
Okay, so you're an electrician. My dad was handy as hell. He could walk into a house and tell me what was wrong with it, and he would be bothered, and I wouldn't have a damn clue. It's a wall, and there's colors and paint, right? I bet you could see electrical work, and you'd be pissed off if someone did it wrong or the wiring's wrong, right?
It bothers me that much when I
right.
You're 100% right, but I'll walk into places, and if a fucking outlet plate is crooked, I will see it, and it will attract my eye, and I will not be able to not focus on that, and it bothers me that bothers me.
But isn't that a sign of you being good at your job? So to me, if I keep watching and I'm able to see all these things where guys make mistakes in past matches, then my mistakes in future matches are going to stop. If everybody thinks they're too good to be watching what's happening, then how do you adapt and train and how do you know what your opponent's next move's going to be if you ain't studying them every day? Sure, a lot of it's instinctful, right? Like any sport is, you learn your maneuvers and your techniques. If a D lineman's going to swim or if he's going to jack you up forward, like they're all technique based for sure. And how he reacts and interacts with the offensive line is no different than the way I would interact with a high flyer or a giant. It's a sport. But if these guys ain't at home studying, then they can get bent. They don't love it. And if it's me telling them that, I'm sorry, newsflash, everybody listening, I don't care. That's how I feel. What, we're too cool of an era now? Oh, no, I don't watch my matches, bro. Just get mad so I go home. Well, maybe you should watch some more and you wouldn't suck so bad. That's my opinion.
I look at it, I mean, you've described it very nicely, but to simplify it, it's an appreciation for your craft.
For sure.
And
yeah, for sure.
Like, just like you said about me, it's you watching and you appreciate what's not always, because let's face it, it's so broad now, the spectrum of wrestling. I mean, not to say that it wasn't back in the day too, because there was some crazy shit that went on back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's blossomed into not just one big company doing it. It's several companies, independents doing it. So there's so much out there that it's hard to watch everything. But
for sure. Everything is impossible. It's impossible. And you want to watch what you want to watch. Every now and then I'm going to throw on 92 Superstars, right? I love it. It's going to happen.
And what I'm about to say kind of touched on what you said earlier. It's kind of like finding what you like and like locking into it. And ROH going back, because ROH a couple of years ago, they were getting flashy, and it was, I mean, they had the Young Bucks, they had the Hardys, so they were kind of trying to go larger, and it didn't quite work out as well for them. And now they started to dial it back, and they started to refocus on what was their bread and butter way back when CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, like
when it was respected.
I'll
call it for what it was. We weren't respected 3 years ago. I don't care who was on top. You heard it.
No, and it sucks to say this, but you're right. You are. It had a flash in the pan moment, and then it kind of fizzled out when people started to jump ship, and it kind of left everyone else to kind of collect the remains. And I think one person, Jonathan Gresham, kind of took that and put part of that on his back, and he tried to really dial people back into what Ring of Honor was known for. And I think that what has attracted me back to Ring of Honor is the wrestling, the storytelling that's going on in the ring, not so much because I'm at a point where I'm in my 30s now, and the larger than life characters, they don't really exist. So I had to find something new that I could grab onto, and it was technical wrestling. It was wrestling in itself and the actual sport of it. And Ring of Honor is doing that, I think, better than anybody else right now. I think actually, and I know another company does wins and losses and records and tries to make it sport-based, but let's face it, they're on a national TV, so they have to dial in a little bit of everything, a little bit of showmanship. Ring of Honor, I mean, unfortunately isn't on mainstream TV, but they're still putting on one of the better products in wrestling.
The only thing I'd correct you on, I was actually way more intelligent than I expected to come from any wrestling podcaster, let alone yourself. So that was impressive. The only thing I would change is we're not putting on one of the best. We're putting on the best wrestling product on television, period, in 2020 and 2021, period. And I'm okay with discussing it or just leaving it at that, but I'm positive it's the best.
No, I was being nice.
Yeah,
by including others, but I do. And
I don't have to be.
It's my opinion, but I do think the Ring of Honor is doing the best at the wrestling aspect of wrestling. And I think the people that they're bringing in and the people that they're highlighting, I think everything's kind of just they know what they're looking for, and they're not looking for it. And I don't want this to sound like a jab or anything like that or a cheap shot, but they're not looking for the next big thing. They're looking for intangible parts. It's like they're building a team. It's like they're drafting.
Totally. Yep, that's a good way of putting it. That is a good way of putting it.
They're drafting smart. They're taking utility players. They're not looking for the home run hitter. They're looking for everyone that's going to get on base, score runs, get the RBIs. They're building a solid foundation.
No pun intended.
Maybe I did intend it.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't care for him, but like, if you don't think John Gresham's the best professional wrestler bell to bell today, you're clueless. Like when it comes to technical wrestling and pure wrestling, like if you don't believe he's the best, then it's not worth having a conversation with you. So I'm not going to sit here and glow about how talented he is. But you're spot on. We're picking up a lot of people that are just good workers, that are beyond that understand this sport, ins and outs, and from all different parts of the world too, man. Like if this stupid pandemic wasn't happening, the guys from the UK are talented as hell. I can't stand, like, some of the most annoying guys on the roster are from the UK. I don't mind admitting that. They know it. Like,
is it the accent?
I don't know what it is. I think they're just not accustomed to stuff over here. Like, I personally, Joe Henry's like, whatever. Anyway, not the point. They're talented, right? Sure, they wouldn't be at Ring of Honor without it. I'm glad they're not around. It's opening spots for me, and I personally don't give a shit for Joe Henry. Just annoys me. I'm sorry. Anyway, but that, besides Joe Henry, the UK stacked. Like even the Canadian people, we got PCO, that monster. Like we're so internationally known. I'm sure every company is, right? But look at how big of a platform they have to showcase it, and the platform that people perceive we have. I think the problem is, for whatever reason, not enough people have eyes on us, because it seems like whenever we get them, we keep them. I'd say we keep more eyes than we lose. Our people love us and are passionate about us, and people love Ring of Honor. It's very rare that you show somebody our product and they poke holes in it or question it, whether or not someone's dad was in the coffin or not. And I think that ability to present this as the sport that it was meant to be is what sets Ring of Honor apart from everybody else.
I think Ring of Honor has the most likely ability to draw in a pure sport fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone who, I don't know, maybe someone who wrestled or did amateur wrestling or MMA or something like that, because I think you appease more to a pure sport person. And there's a shit ton of them out there. It's just, how do you get the eyes on you? And I think the platform that you're on is just too small to, I mean, it's growing, but it's not growing at the rate at which it should be or which it could be.
Somebody could call me out on numbers, but I think Sinclair Broadcasting is like one of the biggest broadcasting companies in the world. But I digress. I understand what you're saying, but I got to swing my flag and stand by it. You know what I mean?
No. And believe me, I will stay there with you and I'll wave the flag. It's just that I feel like it's just that if the eyes could all get there, I don't think they would. I don't think they would be hard pressed to leave. I feel like.
Well, I think a lot of problem with pro wrestling fans is they're the most hypocritical sons of bitches on the planet. If you're their favorite, you can do no wrong. Yet, if someone did the exact same movements in the exact same manner at the exact same time, but you're wearing the other team's colors, they boo-boo. They do it all the time. For sure, when all those guys, went down to Jacksonville and built that badass company, we lost a lot. Like, spade's a spade, right? We lost them. But like there was this negative connotation about us that just didn't freaking exist. And anyone that touted it, you're a dumbass. And I'd like to meet you. Please find me. Because I remember 2019. If you go back and watch on the Honor Club, which I know you guys own because you watch Final Battle, good job. You'll see that those shows in 2019, nobody can touch them. Period. Bell to bell. Go watch Death Before Dishonor. 2019. Yeah. That match, that show in Las Vegas was friggin' incredible. And if anyone tells me I'm wrong, they're just not. Maybe we just like different sports then. You know what I mean? It would be like a rugby player telling an NFL guy it's not entertaining. But,
stupid helmets.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but I seriously believe that. I think we fell victim to the vocal minority sticking to some boneheaded thought process about us that was drummed up in their own minds because they're idiots and none of it's true half of the shit. We were dominating, putting on badass shows. We just weren't the cool kid on the block at the moment. But now we are, and it's swinging for us big time. We're hitting momentum strides, and I'm leading it. But there's lots of guys leading it, but I'd like to think I'm at the front of the goddamn charge.
Well, you're from Philly, so we have to get behind you. And we had
Yeah, damn right, boys. Damn right. Speaking about Philly, what are we going to do with Ben? Is he going to kill us, Ben Simmons?
Here's the thing. He's not a Sixers fan.
I'm not.
So
Okay, you a Flyers guy? You a Flyers guy?
Oh yeah. Bleed orange and black. It's why
Okay.
if you see our logos, they're in orange.
I can tell. I'm a diehard Sixers guy. We can talk Eagles. You happy Doug's gone or what?
Have you? I know you're in the ROH bubble right now, but have you got the latest on the allegations of Carson Wentz?
No. What?
So,
Seriously, I swear to God, I know nothing. Unless you tell me we got Deshaun Watson.
No, that's not it.
No. So it was leaked, and the Inquirer put out a article. I think this was Saturday or something, and it was complete slander, all one-sided against Carson Wentz about how he would kill the calls the plays the dog ran. He would kill them intentionally. He would deny on tape that they would go over film and he would just deny. Oh, the coverage wasn't there would be a guy wide open. And you didn't see him. You're like, oh, the throw wasn't there. So he was just basically the article saying that Wentz throwing everybody under the bus possible. He's difficult to work with. It's just, why would, if the Eagles are stuck with him for $36 million, why would they let this leak? It just doesn't make any sense. Like you have him, you got rid of Doug. Like if anything, you should be trying not to let this slip out. It makes me think that this is from Peterson's camp.
Me too, right? That's what I thought right away. Well, the thing is, Alshon never liked him either, right? So if Alshon put it out there, I truly believe the team gave up on him. That's what it looks like to me. And I don't know what the hell you do with that contract. Now, whether or not his attitude's good or bad, I guess I could be pointing at as having a bad attitude in the locker room. So I'm not going to tell Carson how to act. But because sometimes you're right and people just don't see it your way, Ring of Honor. Damn, I don't know what they're going to do. If they lost faith in him, it's tough to come back when you're a quarterback and he's got all that money left. Jeez. It's going to be ugly for Philadelphia Eagles for a few years. So everybody go watch Ring of Honor instead.
You're not kidding. But if you want to pick up where you said Ben, I don't know, man. I think at this point you missed out on Harden, but they wanted way too much for Harden. I mean, I know
he ain't going to win anywhere. He ain't a winner.
I agree with that.
Harden's
I don't think Brooklyn is going to do anything.
Yeah, he ain't going to win.
I'm torn on Ben because, look, when it's a full squad, he's vital because he's getting the ball to everybody. He's the facilitator. He's getting the ball to everywhere it needs to be, and people are getting theirs. My problem with Ben is that he's so goddamn talented and athletic, and he's got every single intangible, and he doesn't have that mind power to take over a game when we know he can. He can. He's physically gifted. He's faster. He's bigger. He's lankier.
It's that Mamba mentality he's missing.
He's quicker. Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, realistically, seriously.
No, you're right. You are right.
If there was one person I would want him to take after, it would be Kobe. Because Kobe had the perfect mentality. Yes, he had that killer instinct, and that's what Ben's missing, and that's what he needs. So he shouldn't be he shouldn't be number two. He shouldn't be paid as a number two. He's more of a
I mean, I love his size and ability to dish. His defensive ability, is unmatched. He's probably one of the top 5 defenders in the league, at least from the point position. It's unmatched, right? Unfortunately, it seems like he thinks he's a point guard, but shoots like he's a center. But from 1992, not from 2021.
Because obviously Embiid doesn't want
to shoot. You know what I mean? He won't shoot the ball, and when he does, it's ugly. And unfortunately, we're in a league where you need to score points. I'm looking up right now, and Brooklyn and them have 60 points each, and we're in the middle of the third. These teams are playing ball. We got to score. It's not the bad boy Pistons. So I didn't want Harden, but I don't know what the answer is to Ben. Personally, it looks like he's checked out. As someone that's been on a roster and not liked people and had to deal with people that I don't like, and that'll happen for me in a few days here when we start taping some shows. I know that it's not always daisies. It's not always roses and daisies. It shit sucks having to deal with coworkers that you can't stand that aren't looking at things the same way. Now, sure, he might not be looking the same way as us Philadelphians, so screw him, right? I got it. But in ways I can feel from being at Ring of Honor, the lovable place everybody talks about, but I'm the guy with the bad attitude, right? Or not delivering. Well, screw you. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I can feel for a guy like Ben.
Since we delved back into wrestling, I'll keep it there for a second.
Yeah.
How do you weave in and out? Like, how do you blow past the negativity? Because if you have negative press coming your way, or negativity just surrounds you, not you personally, but you hear, you see it, how do you weave past it? How do you keep your head up?
That's a good question, because most people think I'm negative. They think that I have a bad attitude. We've addressed that, right? But I actually don't think I have a bad attitude. My attitude comes from the fact that people don't talk about me. So I probably haven't had a lot of negative stuff because people don't know who the hell I am. I've noticed, if anything, there's people starting to turn heads, and that kind of pisses me off. Like, why weren't you listening to me 6 months ago? Type shit. And it's a chip on my shoulder that's never going to move ever, period, no matter how big of a fat ass comes up and tries to bite it off. So yeah, I'm pretty driven. Like I said this in a recent interview, not a lot of people do something for 14 years fully devoted. And that was just me starting training. I've been devoted to being the best in pro wrestling since the day I was born. I was put on this earth to be a pro wrestler. I know I was. And the moment I'm not, who knows what happens. I probably start training some young kid with a bad attitude, and hopefully he gets a little further along than I did, a little quicker. But until that time, my goal is to go down as one of the greats. So when people are talking top 5 list and Mount Rushmores, the Mecca's name comes up. So to me, the negativity, if or when it comes, I don't give a shit. I know I'm not making any friends right now on the roster, and I'm getting more people talking about me than ever.
Hopefully they listen to this then.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, for instance, you guys weren't banging on my door when I was number 1. Nobody was. Like, nobody. I get it. I was trying to be something I wasn't. And now that I start speaking my mind and get a little vocal, it's pissing some people off here. And I get it. I'd probably be a little mad too. This loudmouth this loudmouth little punk coming up, where, he's from the dojo. He should have, I totally understand where they're disrespected, but I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, the other thing I did want to touch on is because where you are is not your home. You said about tapings coming up, and so you're in the Ring of Honor bubble. How, at least for anyone who hasn't heard about it, how has it been? How have they done as far as accommodations, as far as the distancing and the tapings and all that?
So this has been a weird interview for me, guys. I feel like I complimented Ring of Honor more in these 40 minutes than I have in the last 40 days. And I swear it was not set up for those at home. It's just the way the questions went. They asked me who's the most talented, and that's us. And now they want to talk about the bubble. And if I had to give Ring of Honor any credit for something they do, because they do lots of things I don't agree with every goddamn day. This bubble thing, I can't speak higher of it. We're quarantined. We're taken care of. There's testing. Everybody's safe. There's at-home testing. There's protocols, and I could spend another whole hour just telling you about everything they do for us. It is as safe and secure as an atmosphere as can be when it comes to terms of professional wrestling, in my knowledge. Now, I haven't been everywhere, right? But it's unbelievable what they do for us here to make sure that this product comes out for their fans. If I was in charge, I don't know, like, man, it's a top-notch effort by them. We're quarantined in a hotel, test, like I said, tapings a few days. They stack everything together. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what they do.
I feel like people want to harp on negativity so much, and sometimes rightfully so, but what ROH didn't get credit for is that you'll see that there's these breakouts and there's people that have contacted or came in contact with COVID on other wrestling scenes, and ROH seems to keep it pretty tight knit and close to the chest, and they play everything smart. And they don't get enough praise for keeping everybody safe.
No, they don't. I think, to my knowledge, that our numbers have been like some of the best in a sense of like amount, like percentage of people that come and like, I don't think we've had one positive test in a bubble, period, like bar none, like no positive test, because they're badass. They quarantine us. They take care of us. The guys aren't, and you know what? The guys aren't digging around either. We're here to make a living and fight and get some work in. You know what I mean? And like, it sucks not wrestling all the time. So the fact that we're getting to do this, it's such a scarce rate. You know, it's few and far between. Guys are coming in motivated. It's not having to worry about hijinks and bullshit. Credit to the locker room for whatever credit they deserve, for everyone being pretty, narrow-minded at the goal at hand. Everybody, top to bottom, you're like management all the way down.
I think just by talking to you, we could tell, and I think that is one of the things that attracts me to ROH and watching it, is that everybody is hungry. You yourself, you're hungry. Everyone wants to outperform each other, and not in like, I don't want to put this guy over or some bullshit like that. It's everyone's hungry. Everyone, you could tell everybody wants a spot, or this is their livelihood at stake. This is what they're fighting for. That's what it feels like when you watch an ROH. It feels like it's not so much a camaraderie, but it's everyone is focused for the same goal.
I think that we appreciate the talents in the locker room, and being on a Ring of Honor roster comes with a extra part of, like, almost like an extra credential. When you say you're on the Ring of Honor roster, it means you can go, right? That bell rings and you're a badass somehow, some way, your way, but Ring of Honor means you can go, right? That's why Danhausen being here pisses me off. But that being said, I think the guys bring that respect level to every show, whether or not I respect them as much as others do, or they respect me as much as they should. Not the point, but the idea of us coming there, like you said, not camaraderie, because I don't give a shit about those guys. But I respect the talents and the prestige. There you go. Prestige that comes with being on the Ring of Honor roster. There you go. That's the word I was looking for 2 minutes ago.
It only took us like 35 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it took me long enough.
So, Brian, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Okay.
We got to say thank you so much for taking the time in the bubble and talking with us. It was our pleasure.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay, so we don't get this.
You're wrestling fans, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Who's your favorite guy? You don't got to pick a Ring of Honor guy, whether it's today, ever. Who's your guys?
Go ahead. I have my today and ever. You already know that.
Here. Give me this.
Go ahead.
Give me your today and ever. Either one.
So my ever is Sting.
Okay. Badass. Black and white Sting or dyed hair blonde Sting?
So I came into wrestling at Surfer Sting.
That's badass Sting. That's
ultimate baby face, just high energy, like his promos were just him screaming, but it got me hyped, and I was a kid, so that was fucking awesome. And then he showed his other side, and he was baseball bat Crow Sting, and that was, I mean, it was like he reinvented himself, so I was able to like him even more after that. Yeah. I mean, and to say he did it on that stage and to be that well known with, I'm not going to say never going to the WWE because he finally landed there, but he did it his way. He wasn't a sellout.
Okay, I got you. Fair.
And my favorite today is Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, can't go wrong picking them two. They're two great picks. Who do you like over there?
Just because I'm the large in life character, although the Yes Movement was incredible, but I mean his wrestling and his in-ring work is almost unmatched. Like I put him
almost, yeah, you're right, almost. Check Ring of Honor.
I go. He's a person that made me a fan, Shawn Michaels.
He's the best. He's so
growing
good.
up in the early 90s, caught my eye, and that was it. It was Michaels all the time. And then now it's Kevin Owens. I love his mic work. I love what he does in the ring to try and do everything he can. And I don't think he gets what he deserves at WWE. I think he has recently with this Roman storyline that he's with, but he needs to be a multiple-time champion. And I wish that he would get more, whether it's with WWE or whether he gets more somewhere else. Either way, Kevin Owens.
Well, if Kevin ever gets tired of cashing those checks from Stanford and he wants an ass whooping from Ring of Honor, I know someone that'll be waiting at the door.
I would love to see that match.
And here's the thing: you see all these people that worked there before, and you're kind of like, man, now I kind of want to see them go back because I know what it would do for
that
them.
company.
It would do for Ring of Honor. It would do for them. It would be like completely starting like everything over. It'd be like the best mashup ever.
Yeah, wouldn't it be the best matchup ever if I got to wrestle all those guys and then wrestle all the other guys and then I just win everything? That would be the best match ever. I agree.
I mean,
Hey, did you guys see before this stupid COVID shit came, we had that past first present show. It was kind of neat. They were going to have a bunch of old relics come wrestle with some guys on the roster. I wasn't included because they probably were worried I'd hurt somebody. But that was a pretty cool idea. I hope there's a chance of that coming back again.
Us too. So again, Brian, thank you so much.
Sorry,
we can't be rude.
What's that?
He asked us a question and we didn't ask him his favorite of all time.
Okay. Yeah.
And if he's going to say himself, then we asked this question for
No. What loser would say, like, oh, yeah, myself, the Mecca's my favorite. Clearly, I'm a fan of my own work. I wouldn't be promoting if I wasn't, but I love Hulk Hogan. I know that it's not a popular answer, but I grew up on him. And I think what you said about Sting, or even what you said about Shawn, or even how you feel about Kevin, like we talk about wrestlers and the way they made us feel. And Hulk Hogan made me feel for this business. Hulk Hogan's the man. Who's my favorite now? Probably still Hulk Hogan. I'm such a Hulkamaniac. You have no idea. How about this? Instead of me saying someone I'm a fan of now, I'll give you somebody that I would like to work, that I look up to on another roster that I have my eye on, who's talented, kind of a pain in the ass, but he's talented as hell. And if I ever had a chance, he's another young and upcomer, Chris Bay. That guy from Impact seems to be pretty talented. I don't personally care for him, but if I had to pick somebody that's new and on the scene that I at least look to, like, oh, damn, I could do something one day, maybe Chris Bay. That way I'm not fanboying for somebody on a roster at the moment.
So now you mentioned that. Now it brings me to another question, extending this conversation. So that's a clash in styles for you. That's a matchup that, like, you're not. He's more of a fast-paced high flyer. He's more of that, and you're more of a brawler, tactical. I mean, what would you classify yourself as?
A
little bit of everything.
I think I'm crafty. I think I'm fundamentally sound. Old school, I guess some people would say. They used to call Tim Duncan the big fundamental. I don't know how I feel about being called the big fundamental, but that idea of, like, I know my ABCs and I know them better than probably anybody else knows 1, 2, 3. And I feel like that's what I have an advantage on. Old school, I guess. I have no idea. Technical too, because I'll out wrestle you. I'll hang with anybody.
That's what I'm saying. It's more of a ground game instead of
yeah. That's bad. I guess it's a way. Oh yeah, I'm not in the air for sure. Chris will out hip hop and fly over me 1,000 times over for sure. No doubt about it.
So that's why I was bringing that question up. Do you prefer a clash in styles, or do you just want to be in the ring with a bunch of different people? Like, do you prefer?
I appreciate an opponent that can test me. And Chris would be somebody that could do that. Dak Draper is one of the biggest jerk-offs I've ever met. I had to spend 2 years with him in the dojo, and I can't stand his loud mouth, his stupid smile. I can't stand him, period. But we had a match a few months ago in a Pure Rules match that afterwards a bunch of people were talking about us because of the competitive spirit that we brought out of each other. He's 6'5", he's 250 pounds. He's a lot different than Chris Bay. I look forward to the challenge of climbing that big ass tree or plucking this dumbass feather. Size doesn't matter. I want somebody that can bring it, and those type guys that make me step up and adapt my game and bring the best out of me is what I want. Because, like I said, at the end, I want 3 bozos like this to be sitting at some podcast 25 years from now talking about me.
Yeah. Different bozos than us.
I'd hope.
Well, I mean, let's hope you guys ain't doing this 20 years from now. Maybe.
God,
yes.
Let's hope not.
What would that look like?
Dog shit. Dog.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Not good. Not good. The Eagles still wouldn't have won another Super Bowl by then.
25 years? I hope so.
Yeah. End on that, guys. It's terrible. Jeez.
Well, all right. So
we'll have at least one parade. I don't know what fucking team, but we'll have at least one.
Hey, the Fly Guys are pretty good. They might bring it.
They're probably the closest right now.
Right? They probably are. They probably are.
I think the Phillies somehow pull it out of their ass and they get one before any of them.
Oh, you really think so?
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's looking. It's going to look better. It's going to look different.
I'm a diehard Sixers fan, so as we sit here, not 8-4 or whatever, I'll tell you that we're going, 68-4 then.
I have to disagree because the team I'm a fan of is the Boston Celtics.
Oh God! If I wouldn't have came on this freaking podcast,
which is good. I'm saying it after we end.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, you guys are smarter than you look. That's for sure.
Me, not him.
Both of you, but I guess he's proving it.
Yeah. So, Brian, thank you so much again. Even though I'm a Celtic fan, for staying on and not hanging up
immediately. We're not going to end like that. Here they come. That's how we're ending. Here they come.
Damn right.
That's the Sixers.
Right.
Can we get the Sixers song, Bill? Do something.
No, Bill, don't you dare. So, Brian, thank you so much again. It was great having you on. Great talking to you. Much success in the future. We hope to see you with that title around your waist.
Or a title.
Or any title. Doesn't matter. All the titles
guys,
for that
matter. You're a Philly podcast, so how about this? When the day comes that I win a title, you get your Philly people behind it and watch it and make sure they're all rallied up and we get Philly behind it. And I'll come on the podcast in person and bring the bell.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
We'll do a live show.
Yeah. Like, listen, I don't like a lot of people, but I'm from Philadelphia and I appreciate the hard work and atmosphere there. And that's how I feel about this place. I just want to take over my own way. So if I got to be the one that brings Philly a championship, you damn right. Let's do it.
We agree. Yep.
All right.
So, Brian, thanks so much again. And hopefully we'll be talking to you soon. Have a great night.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Great job, Bill. Great job.